I've gone pretty quickly through the academy. I'm not even finished with it yet, but I've had some amazing leaps and bounds here so far. But I did want to kind of just go through how I met Alycia and how this all came about. So Alycia was actually my judge in my very first Mrs. pageant. It had been a little over 6 years since I had competed at all. I had 2 kids in that time frame. So coming back into the pageant world was a big, exciting risk for me. And it didn't turn out the way that I expected it to, which is not surprising because I didn't do anything to make it turn out the way that I wanted it to. So when I was able to kind of come down from, the end of the pageant weekend and all those things, and I really looked into Alycia specifically because she gave me a lot of really good feedback, and the vibe that she just gave off to me, not only in the interview room, but also after the pageant, and the way that she just held herself. She was just very honest and very wholesome, and I could just feel that energy coming from her. And so I knew that I needed to see what she was all about. And so that's when I started diving into the podcast, the YouTube series, all of those amazing series that she already has going on, that we all have access to. And it was just incredible. As soon as she started talking about a legacy project, I was like, what is a legacy project? What makes it different from everything else that all these amazing, phenomenal women are doing? And so when we started to dig into that a little bit more, again, at this point, I was still just on my own having access to all of the things that she already has out there. I had all these ideas on my head of what my legacy project could be. I knew that I wanted to help people and help them kind of navigate opinions that they have with loved ones that may be different. I didn't want there to be so much contention within our family units or within our support systems. And that was kind of the direction that I wanted to go with my legacy project. But I didn't know how to actually do that. And so around that time frame when I was trying to gather all my pieces together, that is when I did the Jumpstart for the first time. So exactly what we're doing right here. And I believe that was in January, was when I did my first Jumpstart here. And that is also when I signed up for her free online course that has like all the different tabs and all the videos that you can watch. And it has like the cute percentage of how much you've done. So if you haven't done that free course, definitely do that because it was amazing. And it really helped me figure out more about my legacy project. And this was even before the academy. But what I really struggled with on my own at that point was second guessing myself. I didn't know, I knew like enough to have an idea of what I wanted to do. And it was really bright and shiny and it was beautiful and it made me feel just so good, but I didn't know how to properly execute it in a way that would be worth it to anybody, to me, to anyone listening to me, or I didn't know how to get it out into the world. And anytime that I felt like I settled on an idea, I kept second guessing myself. I didn't think it was good enough. I didn't think I was good enough. And I just couldn't do it. And so when I was listening to the Jumpstart and all those things, and we were talking about joining the academy, I'm going to be honest, I thought it was a lot financially for me. I have 2 little boys, I'm a very young woman mom myself. It's definitely a financial commitment. And it wasn't something that I was entirely comfortable with at that time. I knew the value in it was astronomical. It was way more than what the actual financial number of it is. It's so much more value than that, but at the time it was still just something for me that I wasn't fully comfortable with for myself. I don't like to invest in myself as I should. So that was a big struggle for me. And then the second Jumpstart came around in April, guys. It took me this long. And at that point in time, I do have a state title and I am competing in August for a national title. So I knew that I had to get going. The Jumpstart or the academy, my mistake. The academy is 6 months for a reason. You need time to be able to take care of all of the things necessary and do it properly. So I knew that my timeline was coming to a close almost. I was going to miss my opportunity of being able to do how I felt would be the proper way of doing the academy so that I could get as much out of it as possible. Of course, between January and March, it had been going through my head, just about every single day. I was listening to all the podcasts. I was going through the YouTube series over and over and over again. And I knew that this is what I wanted to do. And so by the time the second Jumpstart came around, I had already committed to this upcoming national pageant that I was going all in, no matter what. And for me personally, it's because we aren't done growing our family. And so I know that this is going to be the last one that I could do for another 5 to 6 years as we continue to have more kids and grow our family. So I knew that this was my window, guys, of having more me time and being able to really jumpstart my legacy project. That will be something that I can carry with me post pageant journey and in through more childbearing years. That is something that's still for me. That is also giving back to everybody else, something that I can do on my own time and something that will leave a legacy. So I've been with the Academy since April, I think it was. I think that's 3 full months now. And I have had such incredible, incredible progress. I was always worried that any kind of coaching would kind of make you be like a cookie cutter to all the other pageant girls in the world. And that I've never had any other coaches, but I can tell you that is not the case for the Academy. Every single one of us has a very specialized system and a way that we work. And every single one of us has a project that is near and dear to ourselves, and they are able to help us craft it and present it in a way that is just absolutely beautiful and still true to ourselves. And that has given me so much more confidence in the value that I have and the value that I bring to the table. So even if, whatever happens in the pageant world, just like Stacy said, like you can walk away and just be so happy with what how you've performed that weekend and what you've done. I have had an incredible journey all the way up until here already. I've been able to secure several media partnerships, which has just been absolutely incredible. And Alycia said we can bring a little show and tell. So I brought one of the magazines that I've been, magazine covers that I've been able to secure in one of my media partnerships. I've been on a handful of covers and in magazines in general, but these ones has like a super nice spread of just all of the beautiful stuff. But this one is the most important to me because this here, everything that I offer is because of my legacy project. All the words here, I know you can't read them, but all the words here have everything to do with my legacy project. It has almost nothing to do with this. This is what I want people to pay more attention to. And so these things are really fun and it's great to see. And the beauty and, the hair and the makeup, it brings a lot of attention to us, but what we can bring attention to is so much more important. And I think that what has been the biggest takeaway for me with the Academy. And as scary as it was for me to sit there with my credit card, punching in my numbers, which it took me 3 or 4 times of sitting there and typing in the numbers before I pressed enter. But I would do it again in a heartbeat, no doubt, because it has been incredible. And like I said, I'm only 3 months in and I still have quite a few months left. And I'm just excited to see where we go from here. And I cannot thank Alycia and her team enough for being so generous and kind, and all of the time and effort that they put in for us. So thank you so much.
Oh my gosh, thank you. Thank you for sharing that. And I'm so glad that that's the first time I actually got to see the cover. I haven't seen the cover yet. So I'm like, oh, there it is. I'm like, oh, cute. Yes. So thank you for sharing that. It's absolutely incredible. And it really is what you have developed in a short amount of time because you're showing up regularly, because you're engaged, you're doing the work, and you're not just like, it'll just be fine. It'll be fine. No, you're like, no, I'm going to get a lot out of this. I got 6 months. Let's go,
Oh yes. So I decided if I'm going to put into this financially, I'm going to get out as much as possible. And that is exactly what we're doing here.
That is so smart. That's the way to do. That's a wise investor. That's how you do it, because you're like, you know what? I'm investing in this. And this is how I know I'm going to get my ROI is if I go all in. Yeah. It's not magical fairy dust. Mm-hmm.
No, it's work. It's beautiful work, but it's work.
Yep. Yeah. Thank you so much, Kathy. I appreciate you. Mwah.